welcome to episode 2 of Chaotic Baking. We're making cupcakes today at the request of my dad, who decided to be really boring and asked for chocolate and vanilla. But hey, that's what he asked for, the most basic bitch of flavours. Well, that's what I got on with. Enjoy. See you at the end.
So, as usual, gonna start by washing my hands. I'll be back in a second. Hi guys. Believe it or not, this is a different towel than last time. We have like 4 of the exact same towel. However, this is the shirt that I wear most days. I just really like this shirt. And I've got everything other than my sugar out, which is very fun because that's the first step. This is Queen, so I'll put it over here. Let's go, as usual. I have zero faith that this is enough sugar, so I'm gonna go and find some more. Sugar has been acquired, so 220 grams of that. Also, this is different sugar to the sugar I just found. It's caster sugar as opposed to granulated, so it's better, or something like that. Sorry guys, I lied to you. It's 110 grams of sugar. It will be 220 in total after I've made the second batch of cakes, but because I'm doing chocolate, I'm doing it a little bit differently, so. I'm not going to put that in the bowl. Instead, I'm going to put the bowl on the scale and zero it and measure 110 grams of margarine. Because margarine would make a mess of the scale bowl. Dude, just zero, please. I'm begging. Right, that's sorted. I just threw cake cases at myself. Right, this is the old margarine. I brought a second one, so I feel like I'm gonna run out. I'm gonna get some kniffs. I love these kniffs because they have little handles on them. But yeah. Just gonna measure out 110 grams of margarine. Dude. Alright, well that's 138. $110. I'll leave this on the side because, as I mentioned, I'm making more cakes later. And I'm just gonna leave the knives in the box because, you know what, I can't be asked with the same. So, sugar into the bowl with the butter or margarine. And I've got I'll have a spoon eventually. And I'm just gonna mix this until it's combined. So that's nice and combined now. It looks like that. I don't mind showing you this because it can't go absolutely anywhere at this point. And I need 110 grams of self-raising flour, so I'm going to measure that out now. Here's my flour with half a piece of cake that someone's made probably decades ago on top of it. $110 grams? Perfectly, actually. So slay. I'm going to put that to one side because I'm making more cakes later and I'll need to do this same thing again. I'm going to get out my sieve because I remembered everything other than the sieve when I prepared earlier. Just covering your view there, guys. Ladybird cup. Love this thing. And I'm going to crack an egg. Eggo. I'm gonna wash my hands because the egg got on my hands. So there's a little blemish in the egg that I don't like the look of, even though it's absolutely fine. So I'm just gonna remove it quickly because I have bags of time and no purpose in life. Dude. Put the egg in the bowl. And about half of the flour. And I'm going to stir that to combine it. That's combined. I'm going to add the second egg and the rest of the flour. And once again, just stir and combine it. I'll move this out of your way, guys. Sorry, didn't realise it was there. Well, I realised it was there, I didn't realise you could see it. Right, that's all combined. So the last thing I'm going to do is add a generous amount of vanilla flavouring. These are the sprinkles for later. So I'm going to put that off to one side. And this is where we keep the flavouring in yet another margarine tub. If you couldn't tell, a lot of cake is made in this house and we go through an awful lot of margarine. Vanilla. This has a very odd scent of Play-Doh, I don't know why. In fact, it's probably the banana that's still left about in there from decades ago. See, no one actually likes banana flavoured cake in this house, but we still have banana flavouring for some reason. And for the final time, I'm just going to mix that all together and combine it. Now I'm going to clear some space where we are here. Move my Eggo cup and put the sieve into the scale. I'm going to preheat the oven. Oh, I'm going to turn the oven on to gas mark 4. And I've got my tray. So I can't decide on one colour, so we're going to do pretty patterns. I'm legally an adult now, but hey. I still feel like a child, so I don't really care that I still seem like a child. Alright, so we've got all of the little cake cases in the tray. I'm not going to hold this too far so they don't all fall out. And I'm going to carefully fill all of the cake cases with cake mix. This has already gone well. I've dripped some on the side already. That will burn at some point. So the cake cases are filled to the best of my ability and relatively even, again, to the best of my ability. And I'm going to chuck this in the oven. Give it a little bit of a shake, see if I can even these out a little bit. For 15 minutes, again on gas 4. That's quite warm, I might do that. Time up. 15. And I'm going to put that away from you guys so you can't hear it ticking the entire time. Then I'm going to bring back my bowl and measure out another 110 grams of sugar. It would appear I've captured the vanilla essence. Like a fool. Sugar. a spoon. That's 111 grams, which is close enough to 110. Into the bowl. And because I'm making chocolate cupcakes, and chocolate cupcakes are just vanilla cupcakes with chocolate powder in them, I didn't need to clean the bowl. That's just making extra washing and wasting water. So, margarine time. Right, I didn't think this through. I'm just going to put a plate on the scale for this. Put my flavourings away because I don't need them. And when I say away, I'll put them on the table because they live in the garage and I can't be asked going outside right now. Margarine, I'll scrape the bowl of the original for what's left after zeroing the scale. And now I'm going to crack open a nice, heavy, fresh margarine. Again, we go through a lot of this stuff. I'm going to work quickly so the scale doesn't think I've abandoned it. We're in the 90s. Dude, leave. Leave. I dropped my spoon. 102. $109, which is once again close enough to 110. And just as I did before, although the side of the bowl has cake mix on it now, I'm going to combine this. Now, time for the flour, and because these are chocolate cupcakes, it's going to be a little bit different this time. Where if I put the flour, it's over here. I'm going to do 80 grams of flour this time. Zero the scale again. I should probably mention, I get so bothered about that because the scale doesn't have a zero button. I have to go through all the different settings it has before it finally goes back to zero. Which, first world problems, but hey. $79, which is close enough to 80. And I'm done with the flour now, so we can go away. Cleaning as I go. And because we're doing things a little bit differently, I'm just going to put all the flour in now. Crack our first Eggo. Did an awful job though. Washing my hands. Drying my hands. And as usual, I'm just going to check that there's no shell in the egg, which there isn't. We're chilling. So I'm going to combine that, and then because I'm conscious we have 5 minutes left on the timer, I'm probably just going to keep stirring until the timer goes off. I lied, I'm not going to wait for the timer to go off, because that thing actually hasn't moved since I last looked at it. So I'm going to move my sieve, because it was in the scale. I'm going to get my cocoa powder. I want 30 grams of this. Do. Another beef I have with this scale is that sometimes it just doesn't listen to me. Who thinks they opened this? They didn't. It may have been me. Spoon. That's 30 grams. So, Eggo Kind of number 2, kind of number 4. Either way, an egg. Washing my hands again because the egg touched me. Checking the egg for sure. And we are good, so the egg can go into the mixture. This can go into the sink because I'm done with it. I'm going to move that out of your guys' way, and I'm going to sieve the cocoa powder into the mixture. Right, I'm going to stir and keep a close eye on the timer, make sure it doesn't go off. Although I will hear it when it goes off, because that's typically how timers work. And for anyone wondering, the reason I substitute some flour for cocoa powder instead of just doing the same amount of flour is so that the cake isn't too dry. I may not really know what I'm doing, but hey, I can do some things. With partial success at least. Right, that's thoroughly mixed, looking like that right now. So I'm gonna put that to one side and get my second. It's embarrassing that that made me jump. So I'm going to pause that for a minute, get a skewer. Little pokey. Oven gloves for safety. And I'm just going to lift out the original tray and stab one of the cakes, or maybe a couple of the cakes, to see if they are liquid on the inside or if they're cooked all the way through. They're looking nice and risen. That one's good. I'm going to give them maybe an extra 2 minutes. So it's 7:03 right now. I just dropped a towel on the floor. I'll have to pick that up. That can go, depending on what kind of towel it is, it can go in the wash or on the chair for now. And keeping a close eye on the time, I'm gonna fill this second baking tray, whatever you want to call it, with cake cases. Oh no, we only have one yellow one. That can just go off to one side and we'll do 3 colours for these. It's 7:04 now, so I'm gonna put the cupcake cases away and just keep a really close eye on that time. It's 7:05, guys, so I'm just gonna lift them back out. Hopefully they should be a little bit darker, the little pale ones that were at the back. Yep, they are looking splendid. I decided to use a new word there, not really sure how I feel about it. It's quite posh for me. I do know the word splendid, I just tend not to use it. Okay, so I don't want to tip it too far in case they fall, but that's how the cakes are looking. I'm going to put them down, and I will not touch them because they'll be red hot. I'm going to leave the oven on for now because I'm fairly certain turning it off and then back on again would waste more energy, resources, whatever it may be, than leaving it on would. And once again, I'm going to do my best to evenly fill and not messily, although I did spill a fair bit of cake batter on the side of that one. These cake cases. So, why do I feel like there's more cake mix this time? The cake cases are filled, not looking that even. However, I have spilled significantly less batter on the actual metal part, so I'm calling it a win. These are going in for, once again, 15 minutes. Although what is more difficult with chocolate is seeing whether some of them are maybe paler than they should be. because they're already quite dark. But hey, such is life. 15-minute timer. And then I'm gonna get a bowl out and make some icing, I think. Or buttercream. First things first, into the sink, all of my sink equipment goes. In fact, I'll lift that out in case someone in my household wants to eat the cake batter, because, you know, sustainability in that. Then, gonna lift out some bowls. I have one baking bowl and then I'm on 2 casserole dishes. I'm gonna get 2 because I do think I will need to do the chocolate and the vanilla icing in separate bowls. We'll do vanilla first because they'll cool first. And I'm literally just gonna put a chunk of margarine in the bowl and then put ice and sugar in until it's the right consistency. Spoon. I don't know what. In fact, that's the sprinkles. Quite glad I didn't take this away because I need it. This is the margarine. I brought it back. Heh. I laugh like I see the villain who is only talented disappointing their parents. In you go. We'll start with that and add more as necessary. The sieve probably has cocoa powder in it. It does, so sieve number 2. I have to get a chair to reach the icing sugar because I'm just that short. This is half empty. This is another one. It's full. I've got to stop laughing like that. But at this point, I don't think it's even voluntary. I can tell I was the last person to use this because it has smooshes of chocolate cake batter on it. So I'm going to be very careful as I stir it. And just incorporate it slowly and try and get icing sugar in as few places that aren't the bowl as possible. One thing margarine does cause is very yellow buttercream, so I'm probably going to colour this. Or maybe just add a bit of blue and red to kind of counter out the yellow. Because colour theory. I know. Bare minimum of colour theory. Okay, so that's actually not a great deal of icing, and I'd like it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to get some more icing sugar and put that in, and then I will eventually put some more margarine in as well. And then it just becomes a balancing act about trying not to make too much, but trying to keep it the right consistency. Always fun. Skizzers. These are the skizzers. This is icing sugar. I can function trust. Right, I'll call that good for now. And once again just carefully incorporate this together. I'm also going to make it a little bit thicker because I'm bearing in mind I do want to add flavouring and potentially colouring to it, which are liquid. Because I just think gel colouring is too expensive, and as far as I know, gel flavouring is not a thing, but I could be wrong. Alright, gonna add a bit more icing sugar, because again, I want it quite thick, so that just wasn't as much as it seemed when I was putting it in. I've spilled some on the counter. That won't be the last of icing sugar that I spill on the counter today. And it certainly won't be ever. I'll spill much more. It's inevitable at this point. I'm resigned to my fate. Alright, now we're getting quite thick. So, first things first, I'm going to put some flavouring in. I'm going to think about where I put the flavouring. It's over here, I think. I've already dyed my hand red. I'm not injured, I promise. The red food colouring just has a really leaky lid. I'm going to look like I've been partaking in many crimes after this. Trust. It's happened before. I haven't partaken in crimes before. I have looked like I have many times. That was the vanilla. Gotta get that death grip on the spoon, you know what I mean? You obviously have no idea what I mean. I don't necessarily think we have enough here, and I think it's getting a little bit too thick, so I'm going to put some more butter in. Oh, margarine. I'd rather not work with real butter because it's so unreasonably solid. Just mix again. So I also put some more icing sugar in. That's at a pretty decent volume and consistency, I think. I'm going to get some skewers and dot in some red and blue icing. Why do the skewers always sit at the top of the drawer this way? It's awkward. Skewers. I'm just going to dip them in each of the food colorings. Again, I look like I'm committing crimes right now. I mean, to be fair, in a culinary sense, I am. I'm going to flick that. I'm going to get a little bit more and then flick it until it falls off. There we go, a couple of drops. And I'm going to put that down because I'll be cleaning the counter later anyway. Then a second skewer with the blue food dye. And I'm going to flick a few drops of blue in as well. Unfortunately, I've been told by my parents I'm not allowed to dye this cake blue. Which, you know, I feel like they're dulling my sparkle a little bit. Come on. Right. Now I'm going to stir that and see what the colour looks like after that. Hopefully it will be less yellow. I was about to turn that off, but I realised I hadn't turned it off in the first place, so I was trying to turn it back on, and then, anyway. And I'm gonna see what kind of temperature the vanilla Never mind, I'm going to take the chocolate cupcakes out of the oven and check on them. They are looking quite risen, quite good. Hello. Why did I put the other skewer? Oh, it's here. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. Do I have to go at Michael Afton every single
video I do in here. Okay, they need another couple of minutes or so because some of those cakes are surely put on one side. So once again, I'm going to keep a close eye on the time. It's 7:26 right now. And those cakes are about room temperature. We got my piping kit. Got a piping bag now. I do have two. That will come in handy later when I'm trying to do the chocolate icing. I'm going to go with this star piping tip. I hope you can see it. You can kind of see it, I think. I'm going to put that into the piping bag. And then just do my best to fill it while making minimal mess. So, you know, my best is not great, not gonna lie. I promise I try with these things. I'm just bad at it. I'm doing my best. I dropped some on the dishwasher. So that is pretty much all the icing, so I really hope it's enough because I don't want to have to try and colour match that. And now time to check back on the cakes. How are we doing, guys? Are you feeling good? I mean, some of us are feeling very tall. Quite envious, not gonna lie. Where did I put the skewer? Enemy number one at this point. The skewer. What is it? That's it, I'm getting a fresh one. Bad one. Yep, they're doing okay. So I'm going to turn the oven off. Put the skewer on the side. I'll no doubt find the other one immediately after putting that down. I'm going to take those out carefully because they will be hot. And then I'm once again going to give the vanilla cupcakes a little pat to see what kind of temperature they are. They are actually perfect temperature. So I have these nice little cake carrier things. I'm going to put that back right where I got it from. I'm just going to lift out the cakes. Come with me. I know you're a little bit upset about the fact that I spilled cake butter everywhere, but it's okay. I'm going to line them all up here, and I'm just going to pipe spills on them. The time has come for me to stack them up, make a little pyramid. Is there something I can put these on so you guys can see what I'm doing? In fact, no, I won't make a stack, that's a dumb idea. I'll put one on the sprinkles, just so you can watch as I pipe, and then I'll leave you guys to not see the rest because it'll be the same exact thing. There we go, a little swirl. And I'm going to put that into the tin. See you in a bit, guys. So the vanilla cupcakes are completely iced. I'm going to show them to you very carefully. I've put some little sprinkles on the top. Vanilla cupcakes. I'm quite proud of them. They're fairly uniform. I might put a little bit more icing on this one right here. I feel like you know which one I'm pointing at. Then I'm going to cheat a little bit with the chocolate icing. I've got from the Yule log some icing left over, and I just think that's far better than regular buttercream made with margarine. So I'm going to put this into the bowl, muscle it into submission. I'm just kidding, I have no muscles. And then I'll make it up as needed. Now I've decided I don't need a second bowl actually because I didn't colour the vanilla icing as I originally thought I might. I might give it like 10 seconds in the microwave. Yep. And then what I'll do, I'll put what's left over of the vanilla icing in with it. I'm being green here. I'm reducing food waste. I think this is where the chaos comes in this episode. I've been okay so far. And then I'll add cocoa powder as needed. I'll see you guys in a bit when this is actually the right texture. So the mix is now fully incorporated. I'm going to put it into the piping bag and then pipe a little bit into the bowl and then put it back just so we get all the vanilla out and it's not like streaky. Because again, saving washing up and also honestly laziness. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm saving the planet one piping bag at a time. Trust, guys. Trust. It's not because I don't want to wash it up. Not that I wash piping bags anyway, because I'm a miserable failure and I can't do that. Go in. I say knowing full well that I have to put my hand into it, or the spoon at least, to make that happen. If only it followed orders. That's a lot of vanilla icing that didn't come out at first. Okay. At this point, I think I'm gonna just send it all through and stir it again, redo it. I'll get back to you guys in a bit. I'm back. We've sent this through once. It's falling out the other end. And of course, the icing that I get all over my hands is the brown icing. But once again, I'm gonna, well, I think the cakes are an okay temperature. I'm gonna set that down for a second and start stacking the cakes again. Now then, for some reason I ended up with notably more butter for the chocolate cakes, so some of them are notably taller than the vanilla cakes were. And same as before, I'm gonna pipe little swirls on top of them all and move on. Sprinkles, of course, will be compulsory. Who doesn't love a sprinkle? I mean, my entire family think they taste of nothing. That's the point. They're just sweet. Little swirl.
we go.
See you in a bit again. So the chocolate cupcakes are finished. And now I have to clean up the absolute war crimes I've left in the kitchen. So as usual, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time and your engagement. Leave a like if this is something you want to see more of. Comment if you've got any particular things you want to see me bake. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye!